man. How you doing?
Good. 2,000 this year, man.
That's a lot of yards, I'm excited, man. It's good to see you, man.
Big dog, everything good?
Yes, sir.
Keep leading that deep,
yes,
boy.
Sir.
Big dog, everything good?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Y'all get us in that Super Bowl. Appreciate that, man. Well, I'm going to the car. It's a 1975 Chevy Caprice Classic. It's one of one, just like myself. I love it, I love it. Let's do it. Hey, we gotta get JT on it. Hey, can everybody be on my social media right quick? When I walk in a room, I'm not gonna be loud, but you're gonna know Edge was here.
You gonna be a football player when you grow up?
Today is the best day of your life. Believe it.
Give me 8 years of daylight. That's all.
Greatest leader I've ever known.
What a ride it's been.
My career started with gold teeth and ended with this gold jacket.
From Immokalee, Florida, to the U, to a Hall of Fame career, every step in Edgerrin James's life has been taken with a purpose.
Yeah, Ray, almost had the boat lit.
The Edge has forged his own unique journey.
Yeah, baby. Yes,
That's a dope vibe, bro. Create the life you want to live.
You love running backs, right?
Yeah.
Edgerrin, like the perfect dynamic, like fully, like that guy.
Fires it down the sideline. It's 10 for Edgerrin. He's got it! What a catch! Touchdown!
I don't care who you are or where you from. Go back and watch some of the films, and you'll see why EJ is one of the best running backs ever to play in high school, college, and the NFL.
Give it to Edgerrin. Bounces outside left. Tries to turn the corner to 10. At the 5. Touchdown! Nobody was going to stop him.
Great train, Edgerrin James.
It's like Roger Craig, Franco Harris, and Tony Dorsett in one.
A little Barry in there, too. Very, very smooth.
Cutting it back. James is still on his feet.
Number one, he's exceptionally smart.
They must have dropped all the way back. Don't see nothing like this.
Two, his vision is exceptional.
Makes better jump cuts than Martin Scorsese.
He makes great jump cuts. An incredible desire to finish every run.
Keeps on driving. Touchdown, Edgerrin James.
The thing that always stood out to me about Edge was he never went backwards.
Line up and give it to Edgerrin James, and he found a crease.
Well, when you had Edgerrin, he's going to give you 100 yards every game. But the most important thing that I think is overshadowed by Edgerrin, he's going to block.
You can ask Peyton Manning. I guarantee you he's one of his top blockers.
He wanted to be more than just a running back. He took pride in his pass protections, who to block.
But that time, his blitz came and they picked him up.
Okay. I say this over and over again. I think he was the best teammate I ever had. And at the end of the day, I'm not sure you can pay someone a bigger compliment.
There was an authenticity to him that was unique. Great football player. But the way that he connected with people and how real he was is really what always separated Edge.
Yeah, you never hear Edgerrin's name in the news.
He never got in trouble, but he had dreads and gold
Right.
teeth.
Just really is a mentality. And the mentality doesn't mean mischief. It's just the way he attacks everything.
James is still attacking. Only now it's not opposing defenders, but a desire to live his best life. It's a mindset that was formed in Florida.
I grew up in Immokalee, Florida. It's one of the poorest cities in the U.S. Right here in America, like we living like we're in a third world country. We didn't have no help. Everything we get in here is off the muscle.
We would have 2 rooms. I lived in the front, they lived in the back.
You know, this is where it all started. That was our unit right there, number 5. Wasn't no bathrooms inside. So anytime you had to go take a shower and you walk right there, like a community bathroom. Those were the things that make you get a greater appreciation for where you're at. You know, make you dig deep. This right here was the football field. I know it seems small. It's actually hard to get from here to here. That's where you start learning a lot of your moves. You start learning toughness. You start learning a lot of angles when you're in that little confined spot, but you're also dealing with bigger people. They like, get out of here, little boy. You ain't supposed to be out here, you know, but you're like, nah, I belong. I think that's one of the things that motivated me, too. It's like you started earning people respect as you start doing things with the big boys. You know, it's like I was built for football. My whole body was designed for that. You can throw me into a wall and the wall gonna have a mark, you know? Ever since 10th grade, I think I've been this size. I was actually bigger than a lot of my offensive linemen. You know, a lot of time when you're in a place like Immokalee, a lot of people try to say, you're not gonna make it if you stay here. And my mom, she made it real clear that if you're gonna make it somewhere, you're gonna make it right up out of here. And if you're good enough, they'll come get you.
Hey, that's so fun. There you go, man. There you go. Here we go, guys.
Whether it was kicking an occasional field goal or the tail of an opponent, James did it all at Immokalee High.
It's still the same thing, man. It's like I'm trying to get from here to here, and if I gotta go through you, go beneath you, on top of you, on the side of you, I gotta do what I gotta do to get to the other side. That's the game. So you're coming from a situation where it's uncommon. You have to go out and do uncommon things to actually be great.
Oh, it was the Edgerrin James show, I'm telling you. He never was showy and cocky. And I used to tell him, your performance show what you really are.
My mom's the best. My mom is the foundation of my life. That always been my why. I'm gonna make sure that this lady don't never have to look to nobody else.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about college. With my financial means, I was like, boy, if I can get him through high school, I'd be so happy.
Up next.
Not only can this guy run, but he can block and he can catch it.
All-time running back at UM. EJ, my number one.
I'm a South Florida person. I grew up an hour from here, and University of Miami was like the pro team for us. The way they carry themselves, the way you can be yourself, really made me like it.
During the 80s, the Miami Hurricanes talked the talk and walked the walk with the very best. They won national titles. But probation sent this program reeling.
In 1995, the University of Miami was punished by the NCAA and lost 24 football scholarships. That did not deter Edgerrin James from enrolling the following year.
This is James, the freshman. He looks like he's going to be a real good one.
As a freshman, James averaged 6.3 yards per carry in a limited role. The next season, he changed his jersey number and began to put himself in the conversation as the greatest back in Hurricane history.
3-2. Yo, what's good? Yo, what's good? What's good? Come on, man. Let's walk, man. One. Look at this place, though, man. This thing is totally different.
But I came with a purpose. You know what I'm here for. I'm here to get to the pros. I ain't school, all that. Man, if I got to, I'll go. But, man, it's strictly about playing ball.
Whoa, this is nice. Look at that.
How you gonna miss workouts when you got some They talking about two dudes didn't make their workouts. I'm like, dude would've got beat up in our locker room.
We came in, we was already on probation, so it was only a handful of us. We looked up to EJ, he built that foundation.
I see what he's doing, I see what he's producing. That's what I want to be. That's how I want to do it. I ain't never tell you this, but everything that you do, dog, like I used to sit back and watch, like, damn, how you did that?
Give to Edgerrin James. Nice hole. He's gone. Edgerrin James, touchdown, Miami.
I looked up to you so much, man. But I still do, because everything you do, man, is strategic.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
20 years later, you know what I mean? Yeah,
Still strategic. Still strategic. Man, the first time I met EJ, man, I was doing something I guess I wasn't supposed to be doing. I was sitting on the couches, and freshmen wasn't allowed to sit on the couch. So, I got surrounded. There's one person that came to me and said, hey, man, you can't sit on the couch. And that was EJ. And I looked at EJ, I said, bro, that's all you had to say. That's all you needed to do. That was my first time meeting EJ. And you know what? From that point on, bro, we developed a bond. Yeah, we all hung out together.
When you go to school at the University of Miami, you're going to go have fun. but it's not for the weak. If you don't have no discipline, you can't make it at this school.
Take it to the house.
Take it to the house with Trick Daddy.
Met EJ his rookie year at UM. Me, him, and Luke hung out a lot. EJ remained humble.
Put him away early and get ready for our next game.
For 15 years, I never seen him drink. Nowadays, I might talk him into taking a shot, but he wouldn't even drink. He'd drink up all the damn chaser. All the pineapple, orange juice, and the cranberry juice.
Right up the middle. Still on his feet. Oh!
If you're trying to be the best of the best, everything you have to do has to be aligned with that. I don't think drinking, I don't think smoking are going to enhance anything. I can go out. I just don't want to drink. I don't want to do nothing to affect this.
Blitz coming as the gift goes to Edgerrin James. James cuts it back at the 30.
My sophomore year, I jump off the porch. Everybody said, dang, Edge, he's pretty good. I put so much energy into the off season of the junior season, so I'm expecting to go kill it, you know, and then things just not happening.
James, a couple of yards up to the 20.
Nothing is going right, and you're so disappointed in yourself. And, you know, the coach was about to put me on the bench. And I'm like, this not what's up.
James to the end zone. Touchdown, Miami.
Then you relax, and then all of a sudden, things just start falling in place.
A huge afternoon for Edgerrin James.
Saw him grow and get better and not lose focus.
Edgerrin James, the only back in Miami history to have back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons.
You could have easily pressed when it wasn't going your way. You could have just kind of went in the tank. But
transfer portal.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, the transfer portal. But them last couple of games, it started going his way. We fed off of it.
Same old story. Touchdown, Edgerrin.
James started slowly, but finished his junior year with the best rushing season in school history.
You ask for a lot of things, and then when it's given to you, a lot of people sit back and say, oh, I ain't really want this much. You know, me, I was like, yeah, I asked for it. Let me show you that I'm going to do something with this.
He is Miami. I think his legacy here is everything. There was a Mount Rushmore of this place. His head is one of the heads that's on there.
Coming up.
You know, who is Edgerrin James? You know, Bill Polian's lost his mind. This is why the Colts stink.
We have all 6 of the expected draft picks up on the stage.
When it came to the NFL draft, and I really didn't talk to too many teams. I didn't have no spokesman. You remember, nobody knows Edgerrin James. All I had was the work I did on the field, and that's the beauty of it all. I wasn't the popular guy, and so in certain situations, I was just bait. Philadelphia Eagles, they just had me fly up there. I kind of sat on the curb, but it made the paper. Edgerrin James is in town.
I was the guy who took players around at the Jets. Edgerrin was one of those guys. Picked him up at the airport. He was hard not to like. Was definitely, at that time, between the gold teeth and the dreads, you know, there was a perception about him through probably most of the buildings.
I don't know what to say about this.
They try to make him a thug. First, he come from the University of Miami. Add that to the fact he's from Florida, Markley, Florida, a place that they never heard of. So they just assume he got a drug dealing background. They just assumed that some type of way he was going to get in trouble.
The Colts had no trouble at running back in 1998.
1998, I was drafted by the Colts. Marshall Faulk was the starting running back.
Marshall Faulk finds a hole, shoots to the 40.
You know, at the time, you got Marshall Faulk, Marvin Harrison. Figured we could probably play together for, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years.
We felt we were in good shape, but soon found out that there were contractual impediments that were a problem.
Next thing you know, we're trading Marshall Faulk to the Rams. Even the players were kind of wondering, what are we going to do to replace Marshall Faulk, right? There was nobody on the depth chart that we were just going to promote.
The fact that we had the 4th pick in the draft was a godsend. The press immediately said, well, okay, it's going to be Ricky Williams.
Williams breaks a hole. Williams, hello, record book. Ricky Williams.
I thought we were probably going to take Ricky Williams just because all the attention that he had gotten.
Media, they were fixated on Ricky, not Edgerrin.
6 of the best players are here in New York.
I I was back in the mock league. It was bigger than just me getting selected. You know, this is for the whole area. We're all together. We don't know what's going to happen.
No question, Chris, when you look at the top 5, Ricky Williams, #1 player overall.
Despite the rankings, the top 3 picks of the 1999 draft were all quarterbacks.
This, you would think, with Indianapolis, may be the spot for a running back. You would think it would be Ricky Williams.
Out of nowhere, I get this phone call, and everything takes off from there.
With the 4th choice in this draft, the Indianapolis Colts select Edgerrin James, running back, University of Miami.
The only thing I asked, and I said, can I stay here for the rest of the day?
On the radio, they announced that the Colts had just drafted Edgerrin James. These disc jockeys were having a field day with it. You know, who is Edgerrin James? You know, Bill Polian's lost his mind. This is why the Colts stink.
The public relations director came in and said, this is an exceedingly unpopular pick. We're getting telephone calls about it. And the local columnist got on me pretty good.
Now, is there a need to justify this pick to your fans?
Well, I don't think so. I don't know how you can justify it other than what happens on the field. Talk is cheap. What happens in the fall is what counts.
When Edgerrin came, right away, I can just tell that, the type of work ethic that he had, and then he had the Miami swagger with him.
He had a very unique look with the dreads and the gold teeth, but that's not what jumped out to me. What jumped out to me was his confidence. He didn't say a lot, but the way he carried himself, the way he went about his business in the weight room, on the field, you saw early this guy was a little bit different.
Edgerrin James entered the NFL as a father to daughter Quisha with his childhood girlfriend, Andia Wilson.
He was 20 years old, but he was extremely wise. He wanted to find out what's the most amount of money that I can possibly make. So we told him, well, you're going to have to kind of bet on yourself a little bit. So we're going to have to take a little bit of a haircut on the signing bonus, but we could put in some incentives that if you reach them, will make you the highest paid rookie ever. So his contract had incentives in it. So I think the first one was 700 yards rushing. If he would hit 700 yards rushing, he'd get X amount of dollars. So it started at 700, then it went to 1,000, then 1,250, then 1,500 yards rushing.
He has great change of direction, innate skills and instinct. He has power. Edgerrin James is as complete a running back as we've seen come into this league in quite some time.
Yeah, he was on a mission. Maybe that's how he played all his life, where he was like that in Miami, but when he came, he was serious.
I'm not going to break down. I'm not going to come out the game. I'm going to give it to you. First down, second down, third down.
No trouble there. He powered his way in.
Mind you, I'm coming from nothing. So what I got in signing bonus, I'm going to be good regardless. But the incentives, I really didn't understand how hard it was going to be. And so I broke everything down. I created this chart, and I would say, okay, week 1 all the way through 16, I would have everything that I have, everything I need. And after every game, as soon as the game over, I'm plugging it in. This is what I need.
Gives it Edgerrin, turns the corner to the 40, looks for a block, down to the 35, down to the 30, down to the 25, brings it back into the 20, down to the 15, down to the 10, down to the 5, touchdown!
The greatest compliment I could pay Edgerrin was I'd hand off to him. I was supposed to carry out my faith the other way, and I'd hand off and watch. And my coach would be like, you got to carry out your faith. I'm like, you understand I have the greatest view of what this guy is doing? Like, I want to watch him make this safety miss or run over this linebacker. I remember he had a great run against the Giants, dragging guys down the sideline.
There goes the rookie to midfield. Sehorn drags him down. No, he doesn't. He's still on his feet.
Had a great one-handed catch against Washington.
He's got it! What a catch! Touchdown!
He kind of showed you that he can do more than just run the ball.
Goes to Edgerrin James. Beauty. James slips a tackle and is in for the touchdown.
Edge had 2,139 yards from scrimmage his first year, only 73 yards behind Eric Dickerson's record for the highest total by a rookie in NFL history.
He reached every single escalator there was in that contract in his rookie year. Every single one.
He was the first rookie to lead the NFL in rushing in 16 seasons and helped the Colts to their most wins in 31 years.
The Colts have won the AFC East.
My rookie year, we exceeded so many expectations. I developed a great relationship with Peyton, great relationship with Marv, and we did things that everybody didn't expect, and we weren't prepared for the playoffs.
Indianapolis lost to Tennessee in their first game of the 1999 playoffs, a pattern that would continue for James and the Colts for years.
Me being a real street guy, there was two people that changed sports.
Yeah.
Irsay in basketball and Edge in football. He played for people like me. When you go out and do your thing, it's the best. So when I see Edge on TV, it made me like, that's me. People call me the Edge.
You look at Edgerrin James, and he says the ad people have told him if he changed his hairstyle, if he got his gold teeth cap, that he could make $5 million a year as an ad spokesman. He said, it's too hard being someone else. I'm staying me.
I probably left millions of dollars on the table, but I was cool with that. I never set out to be popular. When you have to be this goody two-shoes or you can't really be who you are, that's boring to me. Hey, they up.
I think in that sense, he was almost like a trendsetter. He was one of the first athletes that said, hey, this is who I am, like it or not.
I don't like to do something for nothing, you know, and I'm not a volunteer football player.
True perception, reality, right? Like, perception is this guy stays out late and parties all night. Reality is he's not drinking and, like, he can lift weights at 3 in the morning. That's when he's kind of up. But you kind of had to get to know him to kind of learn that.
You read about that? Yeah, dog.
They possibly could have had the wrong impression, but if you know him, if you talk to him for 5 minutes, Edge gets along with everyone.
Easy, Jesus, baby.
I remember when I was a freshman at the University of Miami, that didn't go too well. But our first day in the league, it was the same Edge that I met in 1997 that was still leader of a team as a young puppy, and he was still that workhorse.
They wrote you.
He was still that dude that was smart as hell. Everybody respected him. It was just like I was back in Miami. It's from the U to the horseshoe, baby.
I'm playing a different game from other people. They don't understand I always stuck to my purpose.
Here comes the blitz by Bellamy, and he got a hand on James, who spins away.
Edgerrin James again led the NFL in rushing in 2000 and entered his third season as arguably the league's best back.
I was off to my best season. I prepared for that. I would be at the University of Miami in that 100 degrees weather training for those seasons. I just led the league 2 years in a row. I got a better relationship with Peyton as far as understanding what he's thinking. Man, the game was really a joke. It was like, I'm like, this is too easy. I really felt untouchable.
James on the toss.
Edgerrin James is down. Watch his left leg.
The defender had me. My knee just went back. And from then, it was like, bam.
You know, I was devastated. You know how hard a guy works every single offseason. I hated it.
Just a bullet in the heart of the franchise, because Edgerrin was the heartbeat, you know, and everyone knew that.
There's no way that I'm not going to continue killing this game, but it gave me another challenge.
Instead of rehabbing with the Colts, Edge headed back home to Immokalee, Florida.
This right here is what I call it the fun house. You know, in 2001 when I got hurt, you know, I had to find somewhere to rehab. So I bought these two buildings. This one I made a weight room, and this was just a hangout for kids. Any kid could come there. You know, I was going to gyms, and the gym would close at a certain time. I found my best workouts came in the middle of the night. So I would come up here in this area. I would see anybody out there that's hanging out. You know, I don't know if they're going for bad or not, but I would recruit them, and I would have them come in and help spot me. It was an ACL injury. You know, that was a dreaded injury back then. So everybody's saying you can't come back. So I took it upon myself to make it a challenge.
There were some differences in opinions on what the doctors and what Edgerrin wanted to do. I mean, I didn't worry about it because I knew who he was. I knew he wasn't sitting on the couch. Once again, Edgerrin just kind of did things a little different way, but it didn't mean it was the wrong way. It was the right way for him, which it was good with him, it was good with me.
And then I got a chance to actually be around the kids, too. I would have the kids come here, they can come hang out.
Oh, the
kids in the neighborhood came after school, came during the summer. He let them meet NFL players that they would have never met in their life. These are little kids that was never leaving that block, let alone that town. And EJ knew it. He was running for Markley, and he was running for his family. He knew that God put him on this earth not to drop him off right there.
The 2001 Colts finished 6-10 and missed the playoffs for the only time in the Manning, James, Harrison era.
It's new.
The next year, they hired Tony Dungy, and James returned to the team.
Edgerrin absolutely ran over Ray Micken, and it continued on.
For the next 3 seasons, James averaged over 1,400 yards rushing per year.
You got like 120 or something like that already. It don't even matter.
Good running. We considered ourselves a very elite passing team that if you played man-to-man, we could beat you. Well, you don't get man-to-man unless you got a great running back.
The fake is to Edgerrin. He's going to throw it at Reggie. Touchdown! Manning takes the snap, gives it to Edgerrin up the middle, brings it to the outside. He's at the 5. He's still driving. Touchdown, Edgerrin James!
It really kind of started, with Edgerrin and his presence back there. They are simply all focused on stopping the run. Boom, we have this one-on-one outside.
The safety is up there, then they want to pass the ball.
Manning to Harrison.
I really think Edgerrin took a lot of pride in that.
In 04 and 05, he did everything. That's what was special to me about him. Yes, 1,500 yards. Yes, all these catches, all these touchdowns. But that attitude of whatever it takes for us to win, I'm going to do it.
The Colts won 48 regular season games in the 4 years after James returned from injury. But each season ended in disappointment.
Throws downfield. It is intercepted. The popular sentiment was that no one could stop the Colts. Well, someone just did.
It was always the New England Patriots. They just had our number.
Hands off to James coming up the middle, and he is swallowed up and thrown down for no gain. The Patriots hold this offensive juggernaut to 3 points.
We're knocking on the door, and we're doing something right. We got to figure out how to do it a little bit better.
It should have been, in the big dance, at least one of those. I'll tell you what, 2005, to me, was the best team that I played on in Indianapolis. I mean, we had it all.
They give us Edgerrin right up the middle. Edgerrin dive, touchdown! Touchdown, Edgerrin James!
We just fell a little short.
Kick is on its way. That kick is long enough, high enough, and it's good!
That was kind of like how the story always ended when we had Edge.
That's the beauty of the game of football. You can work as hard as you want to work. It's going to happen when it happens. So you have to just continue to work.
Coming up.
After she got sick, it really took something out of him. He said, all this money I got, and I can't save the love of my life.
2005, we talking, and then all of a sudden, he's telling me he got his house for sale. I'm like, bro, why you got your house for sale? He said, bro, it's gonna come down between me and you, who they gonna keep. They ain't gonna re-sign me, I just got that feeling.
We know we've got a great team. Edgerrin's contract is going to come up. We can pay Edgerrin, we can keep everything together, but if we do, we will not be able to re-sign Reggie Wayne, Dallas Clark, and Dwight Freeney. It was hard.
I'm at peace with my decision. That organization is good to me. When they drafted Joseph Adai, I made sure that I extended an open invitation that anything you need to know about this offense, any way I can help you. Because it's like my family. This team birthed me. I don't want them to lose because that's my team.
The year after leaving Indianapolis as a free agent, Edgerrin James watched the Colts make the Super Bowl.
An incredible comeback. Do you believe it?
Finally was able to do it. And, it would have been great if he was a part of it.
Remember, the Super Bowl was in Miami. He's in Miami, and he's telling me, when y'all win, I'm going to be waiting on you. And I'm like, hey, man, you're supposed to be here.
Steps up in the pocket, rolls away, throws one downfield. Reggie's there, got it to 20. Touchdown, Reggie Wayne! The Colts are world champions for the first time.
It hurt. After that game, we go and meet up with him, and he was the first one. They're like, good job. I'm telling you how much he meant to this team and to this organization. Owner Jim Irsay gives him a ring anyway.
He's the only player that's ever received a Super Bowl ring that wasn't on the roster, and that's because he meant so much to us.
While the Colts were winning a championship, James rushed for over 1,100 yards for the Arizona Cardinals, a team that had never come close to a Super Bowl.
You know, everybody said, man, Arizona, don't go to Arizona.
Warner is going to get sacked, and then he fumbled the ball.
We were the losingest franchise in the last 50 years. Not a lot of people expected success.
I'm telling you, I made a good decision by going here. I saw nothing but some good players, and I'm like, man, it can be some winning over here.
I knew there was going to be something that he was going to bring that was going to help us.
Don't commit when they commit. Let them go and just ease into it.
And I was not disappointed with what Edgerrin James brought to the table.
Edge rushed for over 1,200 yards his second year in Arizona, and the improving Cardinals finished 8-8.
I get myself together, but then you have personal things that come in. You know, my kid's mom get diagnosed with leukemia.
Andrea Wilson, who James had known since middle school and who was the mother of 4 of his children, was diagnosed with cancer in 2008.
After she got sick, it really took something out of him. And he said, all this money I got, and I can't save the love of my life. And that was really sad.
Every weekend or every time we got time off, I would quietly get on the plane, fly to Tampa to the Moffitt Center. I sleep in the Moffitt Center, and then I get up, go back to Arizona, because this is bigger than playing football.
He would come to work, and you would never know anything was going on in his personal life. You know, he was always locked in when he came in the building.
I understood the pain he was going through. You know, that was part of the reason he'd have all his kids out on a Saturday. It was very important to him that they were happy and having fun.
We knew what was going on. It was a tough situation. The latter half of that season, he didn't play as much. He had other things that were, keeping him out of it.
Look, I got things I got to take care of. I don't want to be where it's an issue. They put me on the bench.
The way he handled it with class and dignity was able to keep our team together. You know, if he would have been pouty and acted out in any way, that really could have affected a really young team, and he didn't do that at all.
Now, James, since losing his job, has only played in 5 of their last 8 games. In those 8 games, a total of 11 carries.
In the last game of the regular season, the Cards brought Edge off the bench. As he had done throughout his football life, he delivered.
In the last game of the year for a team that can't run a lick, he rips off 100 for the 57th time.
Well, I always knew what I was capable of doing. It's just a matter of the team going in a different direction. But when it got serious, they came and got the dog. They got me off the bench.
The Cardinals entered the 2008 playoffs with the longest odds to win the Super Bowl.
We were the worst running team in the National Football League, but in the playoffs, we got better running the football.
Edgerrin James over the last 2 weeks looks like a completely different individual.
A lot of people might look at Edge and might look at the numbers and say, oh, he didn't have that big of an effect. His value to what we needed to do was so important.
How about the running game? Edgerrin James was huge.
Hey, way to run, baby.
The question is, can the Cardinals do that again?
We're 14-point underdogs at Carolina, and I looked at Edge, and I'm like, this guy's had an unbelievable Hall of Fame career. He deserves to play in bigger games. And I pulled him into the circle, and I said, let's do this for this guy.
Second down and one. Warner stumbled, hands it off to James, and Edgerrin James is in for a touchdown.
And the Arizona Cardinals will play for the National Football Conference Championship next week.
And then we had to do it again.
One left. James, the tailback. Kurt falls down, but got the handoff to James up the middle. Big hole.
And look at the little burst by Edgerrin James.
I want to get there for Edge. I want to give this guy something that he so deserves because of everything that he's done.
The Arizona Cardinals are going to their first Super Bowl. Tampa Bay, here we come.
The first time we're ever in the playoffs. Next thing you know, we win the championship game, and I really did appreciate, what he had done for us on the team.
Hey,
That was like the icing on the cake to say, man, look, I told you I didn't make a bad decision. I went to Arizona and made it to the Super Bowl.
Hey, you want to go, bro? I told McKinney I was coming home. Yeah. We going to Florida. We going to the Super Bowl.
And that's what's so crazy. Like, we make it to the Super Bowl. The Tampa Stadium is right next to the Moffitt Center. It's like, I've been coming here all year, so it's been prepping me for coming here, so.
It was important for him to take her to that game. And she was strong enough that she was able to go to the game.
It's been a long time for this, Let's go get it, baby.
In his 10th season, with his family in attendance in his home state, Edgerrin James finally played in a Super Bowl.
We had a couple hundred people come, so everything came full circle, and it was actually pretty cool. I just wish we could have got the win. That would have been the icing on the cake.
And the Pittsburgh Steelers win in thrilling come-from-behind fashion.
About 3 months. She died April 14th, that same year.
That's in the man of top hands, you know. The thing you always, is for your children. You know, you always think more of your children than anything.
During special teams period, we find each other. So for 20 minutes every day, sat on one knee, talked about life after football. Not having as much as you would like to have had when you were young. We always just said, we're never gonna be in that situation again.
The good thing I was able to come into some money. I ended up buying the building.
We ain't gonna be broke ever. No, it's not even an option to be broke.
Nice doing business, but let's make this thing work. I'm always trying to make sure that it's business, I'm making money. I'm gonna have fun, but we try to make sure the fun actually brings funds.
On the business side of it, the fact that he's done well doesn't surprise me at all because of his intelligence and his drive. But the part that sticks out for me is the family. He's a devoted father.
This is my son. Hey, buddy. You met my son?
Yes, sir.
Get into the NBA.
He's a very proud dad.
Man, he is the ultimate dad. The role he took on as a father, he took that role on the same way he took on football.
All right, Mr. James, I'm gonna get you to look right here.
The oldest is Quisha, graduated from UDC. She's passed the bar. Imani, that's my future plastic surgeon. Other one is Iyanna. Iyanna is my singer. I have 3 boys. The oldest is Eden. He's a freshman at Howard University.
That's E. James. That's E. James. Dance in attendance. E. James to the house. Touchdown. Look at that.
Middle son, call him Jizzle Man. Heavily recruited. One of the top players in the nation.
I'll be committed to the University of Cincinnati.
If he really wants it, he'll make it to the NBA without a doubt. And then my youngest is Euro. He's coming into his own, and so he's like a blank canvas out there.
It's dynamite.
I see your fit. Don't think nobody know now. Don't think that for a second.
The best thing is like you get to relive your life through them, and the mistakes or the obstacles or the situations that occur, you have an answer for. You are their Superman. I've always embraced that challenge.
While his children are on their way to accomplishing great things, Edge earned his final football accomplishment in 2021 when he went into the Pro Football Hall of Fame alongside teammate Peyton Manning.
It was special to go in on the same weekend with him. Had a great party, had my kids there, kept them up way too late, but Edgerin's party didn't start until like, 2.
Is the car working? Did you check it? You gonna go with it? I saw it. It looks real good.
Edge made sure to put his unique imprint on his Hall of Fame weekend.
That was my first ever speech. But I've always said if I give a speech, it'll be at the Hall of Fame, and I'm gonna kill it. They're gonna know that Edge was here.
This is a special moment for me, my family, and those close to me. I want to thank my Hall of Fame presenter, Mr. Jim Irsay.
One of the greatest Hall of Fame speeches ever. I mean, he's a Renaissance man, he's a poet.
To my mama, we're here.
I didn't even see that coming.
No blueprint, no manual, and most importantly, no man. I'm your man. To my children,
You all make me proud to be your dad. Watching and helping y'all pursue your dreams is a beautiful thing.
You're so impressed with this guy and his ability to fight through adversity in a lot of different ways. I pulled my son in the room and I said, you watch this speech, this guy's unbelievable. What he fought through to become one of the great players of all time. That's why, I was sitting there bawling like a baby.
People looked at my gold teeth and dreads and was shocked and surprised. I had never been under arrest or spent time in jail. So many people told me that you can't have dreads and gold teeth and be accepted in the NFL. But I never listened. I always knew who I was. A great football player, a great father, a proud black man, a lion, and this was my main.
His speech made me cry.
As a matter of fact, look at my Pro Football Hall of Fame bust, rocking the same dreads they said I shouldn't. And to all those who have been judged prematurely because of their appearance, the way they speak, where they come from, and in the minds of many should be locked up in prison, I represent us. I'm forever immortalized, locked up in the Canton Correctional Institution. Inmate number 336 in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. My career started with gold teeth and ended with this gold jacket. Good night and God bless.
His speech was awesome. It put great thought, and that was him, who he was.
Edge's speech is one for the books.
His speech was powerful. And that was probably the perfect line. That's who I am, and that will never leave me.
We all know the impact that he had on the field, success with different organizations, but to me, it's going to be more about those people that got to know him.
How you doing, man? Great to see you.
You listen to his Hall of Fame speech, I think you get a sense of what his legacy is all about. Doesn't matter what you look like, it's about who you are. And to be able to step across some of those barriers that we've all had for years and this country's had for years and go, just get to know me. And, let's get to know each other. Let's put all that other stuff aside and just say, who are you?
I grew up in Immokalee, Florida. It's one of the poorest cities in the U.S.
This is how we started out.
I've always brought home with me, no matter where I went. The beauty of the game of football, it doesn't matter where you're coming from, what you do, how you grew up. The football is what matters. A lot of time people paint this picture of what you're supposed to be when the world is wide open, man. The world is receptive to so many things and so many people. I think the world wants more real people, and people are afraid to be real. And it takes a person to say, man, I'm just gonna be myself and I'm willing to accept what comes with it. I think you gotta keep going. It's just the way of the world.
Yeah, you live that. You live that.
I always celebrate the small victories. You gotta make sure that you let everybody know, it's possible.
Go to the gold jacket. Go to the gold jacket.